Hey everyone, it's Celeste, and today I wanted to film my 2026 priority reads. So this is like a TBR for the whole year, and I don't have a specific plan for how I want to read these books. So I'm listing them in an order, but that's not to say that I will read these in that order. I'm just listing them in the order that basically I pulled them off the shelves. They're sort of, I guess, in an order of the ones I want to get to more than like in the order that I want to get to them in, if that makes sense. But not, I don't know, like that I'm going to read them in that order. So anyway, I decided to go with 12 because there's 12 months in a year, and I thought that roughly puts me at one book a month. Some of the books are rather chunky. Some of the books are not that big. And so I felt like it kind of would even out in the wash. So like there's a couple of months in the year where I might be able to knock out several of these if I just really get on a roll. And then there's others that it might take me a while to read that one book. Like it could take me over a month to read a book. So I think it'll be okay. I think it's reasonable. I will definitely read many books, and these are all physical books, because when I looked at my 2025 books and I thought about what my reading habits were, my habits leaned towards getting my, like, working through Kindle Unlimited picks, working through my Audible list, and not really working through my Book of the Month books, but not really getting through other physical reads. So these are other physical reads that weren't really in those other areas that I just mentioned. So that you might see that theme, so to speak. And I tried to, like, I went with my mood, but I tried to also kind of go through like different areas of my reading. So there's that. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into my 2026 priority reads. So the first book on this list is one that like goes along with this idea. I think some people may have heard me mention this before. I'm terrible about finishing a trilogy. I can't tell you how many sets where I've read the first two and then not gotten around to the third. And it wasn't because the trilogy wasn't good. It was just, it was me. It was me. And so the first one on my priority reads is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. I know, it's embarrassing, but I haven't gotten to it. So I went back and looked, and I read through Mistborn, like the first book of the trilogy, in 2021. And then I read the second book in the trilogy in 2022. Okay, so you would think, okay, well then in 2023 I should have read this one. And I didn't. And then in 2024 I should have read this one. And I didn't. And so in 2025 I should have read this one. And guess what? I sure didn't. And so this one is my like number one priority read for 2026. And so I just like, I really, and it is thick, but it's not, I mean, I read the other two. So Brandon Sanderson, I've read other Brandon Sanderson. So it shouldn't be how chunky it is. It shouldn't be the author. Like and I do want to know how it ends. Like I do want to continue with my Brandon Sanderson. I have a lot of other Brandon Sanderson books to read, so I don't know what's wrong with me, but yeah. So The Hero of Ages. Okay, so number 2 on my priority reads is Hamnet by, and it's got a Target sticker on it, sorry, by Maggie O'Farrell. This one is not a very big one. I have had this on my shelves for a good long while. It's just a paperback copy, and I hate how it has like this short overlay copy. And I want to read it before seeing the movie. The movie is out. And the reviews have been really good. And so like I feel the rush. I feel the pressure. Not the rush, the pressure. And so I have put this on my priority reads for 2026 because I want to get to this. I really think this, if I was going to make a 5-star prediction, I think this would be on the list of like a 5-star prediction video. Maybe I'll do a reading vlog, 5-star prediction reading vlog. This would be a book that I would pick up for that. So that's number 2. Okay, and number 3, I actually have had this book since January of last year when it came out, when it was the Tuesday that it came out, it's publishing day. I sent my husband to the bookstore to go get it, and he gave it to me like on the next gifting, my birthday in January. And so I have had it. And I love Grady Hendrix. Grady Hendrix is one of my auto-buy authors. And it was like I was saving it for a rainy day, and I just did not get to a point where I picked it up. And I need to read it. I just didn't get to it. I didn't get to a point where I was like, it was like almost like I was waiting for a reward. And I didn't feel that I needed a reward, and that's silly. I shouldn't need to reward myself with a book. But anyway, I need to read this. I really need to read this. I know a lot of other people in my life that have read this, and I feel like I should have already read it. I'm a little embarrassed as a Grady Hendrix fan. Okay, another one that I am a little embarrassed that I haven't gotten to yet. Yeah, and I've been trying to keep up with all of the books that are in the series, the fandom, or what have you, is Sunrise on the Reaping. Again, ooh, it's shiny. I got this book either on or close to the publishing day, and I just haven't gotten to it. I actually went through like a movie marathon where we rewatched the main, like the movies. I have read Songbirds and Snakes, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I don't know why I can't say it today. And I need to get to this. And so I put it on the priority reads because I want to make sure that it's on the top of my mind so I don't skip over it and not read it. And I know I'm not going through like any kind of synopsis of what these books are about because I feel like either they're well known or y'all can look them up. Maybe seeing the covers will like pique the interest, but like this book, like the Grady Hendrix book, like the, Hero of Ages, like Hamnet, y'all already know. Y'all already know. Like those are well-known books. So anyway, yes, I need to get on this. I've had this and I need to read it. Okay. The next one is, okay, it is a Book of the Month book. But this is an author that is another auto-buy author. And so I really feel like I need to read his book because I like to support him. So when it came as a choice on Book of the Month, I said, choose, and I chose it as my choice. And it is King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. So S.A. Cosby is one of my auto-buy authors because his writing is, if you like a crime, like he writes crime, he writes with issues of race, and he writes characters really well in small towns, dealing with race issues, dealing with issues of family and friendship, and it's that Southern noir. And a lot of times you will find a book that does it terribly. He does not do it terribly. And a lot of times his books deal with this idea of the prodigal son, so to speak, coming back, coming home. And so I really like that. I just really do. And so I don't understand what's wrong with me, why I didn't read this. But yes, I did choose this when this was an option from Book of the Month. And look at this. And it's in, like, part of this deals with a crematorium. And, like, that's one of I don't know why. I think I'm a weirdo, but I really dig the crematorium thing. Like, if it deals with a mortuary or a crematorium or something like that, I'm going to read about it. I know that's weird, but hey, I'm being honest. I'm being honest about it. Okay. In the authors that I want to catch up with, I haven't read this yet. All these shiny books. Look, this one's got that woo, that copper plate, you know, that woo, it's shiny. Okay, so anyway, shiny things distracting me. So Taylor Jenkins Reid. I was reading Taylor Jenkins Reid back when her books were just those painful romances, where the setup was like, oh my God, that's painful. And then Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo hit the scene, and then since then it's been these like near historical, right? So this, most people probably know about this, but if you read Malibu Rising, one of the many people that was mentioned, there were a lot of people mentioned in Malibu Rising. One of the people that was mentioned was Carrie Soto. Carrie Soto, in that book, was a tennis player, like a pro tennis player or almost pro tennis player. I don't know. And so this is the book that is about her, and I need to read it, and so that I can read the next one. I'm getting behind. I gotta catch up. Catching up. I really enjoy Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing style. It just, I don't know, is one of those styles that I can just get into that flow state, I guess. I had this on, not this summer, but the summer before when I was on my hiatus from BookTube. I had pulled it from my shelves to read for my summer bingo, and I didn't get to it. So, yeah, this was on the 2024 summer bingo, and I didn't get to it. So, need to get to it. So, it's on the priority list this year. Got to get to it. Okay, next book. Another author that I love and want to support. Okay, Chuck Tingle. Why haven't I read Camp Damascus? I don't know, but I bought it a long time ago when it was first published. It is not that big. I don't know why. I adore Chuck Tingle. I like his just presence, his like way of interacting with people is just great. I have read his crazy romances where it's like inanimate objects and things like that, and it was fun and kooky, but this is a horror novel, and I believe it deals with like a conversion camp, so I want to go ahead and read it and then go ahead and get the next one, and it's a theme, it's a whole theme, so this is on the priority list, but yes, a horror book. So like I have these other books, like it's a kind of a horror book that I want to get, and that cover is like crazy. The next one is another catch-up read. So this is Emily Henry. I am so behind because I haven't read Happy Place. I haven't read Big Beautiful Life, and I haven't read whatever the other one was that had the blue on the cover. Yeah, I'm behind by these three books. So I've got to catch up on my Emily Henry books. And Emily Henry, I do enjoy Emily Henry books, but also it's like there's something, I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know if I went through like a reading slump or what, but I have gotten behind. And so I put this on the priority list, and I have a feeling that when I read this, it might get me like warmed up, and I might break my book buying. I'm on a soft book buying ban. Like, I'm not on a harsh book buying ban, but I am softly telling myself not to buy books. But I have a feeling that I would put this on like a gifting wish, not this one, but other Emily Henry books on a soft gift list, or I would look for them in thrifting. Okay, another romance. Okay, so why haven't I read this? Why haven't I read this yet? I've had it. I've had this on my shelf for a while, but again, I think like the Grady Hendrix book, I was saving it for a rainy day, like a treat. Like I'm going to treat myself with this book, and then I never got to a point where I wanted to treat myself. And I think that we don't need to earn that. Sometimes we just need to enjoy things. I don't know, but I love Abby Jimenez's writing. I've pretty much read everything, and I follow her on socials, and I need to read this so I can read the next and just keep staying in that groove. There was a student in one of my classes that I saw had this in her backpack, and I was like, oh my gosh, one of my students will have read this and I won't. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah, I've heard that this one is not as good as others. And I actually, when I hear a not so great review, it actually makes me want to read a book more. Like, that's a thing with me. Bad reviews make me want to read it more because I want to know if I agree with a bad review. That's just me. This is book number 10. Okay, so the next book is a classic. Jane Austen. I'm reading the Jane Austen books that I hadn't read before for whatever reason. And so not like in 2025, I read Northanger Abbey, and I'm mad at myself for not having read it sooner because it was so good. Like, I loved it. It was so funny. It was so hilarious. Like, it showed me a side of Jane Austen's writing that I didn't realize, and I was so, I'm so mad at myself for not getting it. So anyway, this year, my priority is to at least read, if not more, Persuasion by Jane Austen. There's other classics that I also want to read, but I gotta read Persuasion by Jane Austen. Like, that is the Jane Austen that I want to read this year to help me fill in and cover all the Jane Austen books. Again, it's not that very big. Some of these are not that very big. So that is a classic, and that is one that I want to cover this year, going through the Austen works. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll make a video and talk about them. Some of them I have read multiple times. Okay, so now I'm on book 11 out of 12. Okay, so this one was a gift, and I kind of feel bad about not having read it yet. And I still hear, it's not a new book, but I still hear people talking about it. Like, okay, this book came out in 2019, so not a new book. But I still hear people talking about it, and so I'm mad at myself because I have had this book on my shelf for at least 2 years. 2 years? A year? 2 years. I don't know. I think 2 years. But it is Bunny by Mona Awad. I need to read this. I don't know that I want to read the second Bunny book, but I definitely want to read this. And I'm pretty sure I've had it on my shelf for at least 2 years. And it was a gift. And I don't know why. But I've never read anything from Mona Awad, and I want to read this first before I read some of the other one. Like, I want to read All's Well, but I want to read this one before I read that one, if that makes sense. And so I want to be like the other people. I want to be like the other people and have read Bunny. And so this is on my priority list, and also it was a gift, and I feel bad for not having read the book that was gifted to me. And it was on my list. It was like, you know, if you want to give me a gift, this is a book you can gift me, and then it was gifted to me, and it's like, why haven't I read it yet? Okay. So, and I feel like people know about this book because a lot of other people have read it, right? Okay, and now I'm to the last book. So my last book is a nonfiction book. I do read quite a bit of nonfiction, and has a tear in the cover, but that's okay. And I do read a lot of nonfiction, and this is a nonfiction book. I'll be honest, it's a little chunky, and so it kind of intimidated me, but I need to just read it. But this one is The Woman They Could Not Silence, and it's covering up because of this discount sticker, but it is by Kate Moore. And she is the same author who wrote The Radium Girls. And I have read The Radium Girls. If you haven't read The Radium Girls, you really should. The Radium Girls was about the women who worked in the factory where they put they were working on the watch dials, and in order to make them like glow in the dark, they were using like radioactive paint, radioactive elements in paint, and in order to make the paint, the fine tip paint bristles on their paintbrushes, they would stick it in their mouth and like do like that to pull it tight, and the radioactive elements basically irradiated their faces and caused really terrible things to happen to them. And so that book is a nonfiction book about that. And oh my goodness. So this book is about a woman, and I don't want to like say too much. I really haven't read it, so there's not too much I can say. But this is a book about a woman, and I believe that her husband is sick of her for whatever reason, and he checks her into an insane asylum. And so she has to fight for her freedom, because she's not insane. They just put her in there because he wants to get rid of her. And so he's like, well, I'm a man and I have power to do that. So I think he puts her at like Bellevue or someplace. And she has to like, you know, and so I really want to know more about that story. Like, as a woman who doesn't have to worry about that, I want to know what she did to help the future of women. So those are the 12 books that I have on my priority reading list this year. I'm so, like, just talking about it just makes me excited. I was so excited to go through. There's so many other books, but I limited myself to 12. And so I'm excited to read those this year. So if you have set aside books as your priority this year, I would love to hear about them. You can either maybe mention a few in the comments, or if you've done a video, let me know and I will go and watch it, because again, maybe we have something in common, or maybe some of your priority books were almost on my list. I don't know. You know, like I hemmed and hawed and tried to figure out what I wanted to put on my list. It took me a while. There's a reason I'm posting this in January and I didn't post it in December, because I couldn't make up my mind for the longest. But anyway, I'm going to stack these on a shelf that's highly visible in my house, not mixed up with the others. And I'm going to try to make it a point to pull them. I don't do TBRs each month because I'm such a mood reader that if I put it on TBR, it's just a guarantee I'm not going to read it. But I am going to try to make it a point to grab one. Anyway, so thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you like my video, please consider hitting that like button. If you want to see more from me, maybe subscribe. That'd be great. Until later on, I will see you later. Bye.